I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And indeed, we are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business. And I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. So if it's Sunday, it means we're back on the show. And I'm thrilled to return with our amazing guest, the guru, the one and only Tom Miroballi. Tom, welcome.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. It's great to have you. And I know our listeners seek out guidance and information from you all of the time. So it's another month. We're in Q2 of 2021. Crazy to believe it, but that means, people, it's another opportunity to do a bit of a reset whenever we have that milestone of beginning of a month, beginning of a quarter. Time to do that reset. And that means everybody should be looking at their health insurance coverage. And so many of our listeners turn to you, Tom Miroballi, the guru. So I wanted to kick it over to you. So tell us what's hot in the health insurance world.
Oh, what's hot is the short-term major medical plans with no maternity coverage for people of any age. That's what's hot. And nobody is really, unless they have pre-existing conditions, going to Obamacare because it's just outrageously priced. And the deductibles, the total out-of-pocket costs exceed $8,000 when I can give people 100% coverage after $2,500 with no maternity coverage. That's what's hot.
That is what's hot. So you find the right plan, the right solution for your clients, wherever they might be and whatever their personal situation may be. So tell us about some of these situations, some of the calls, rather, that you've been receiving, which I know you return very, very rapidly. We'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes. But tell us a little bit about some of the people that you've been able to help.
Well, I've been able to help people who, even with pre-existing conditions, like insulin-dependent diabetes or cancer within the last 5 years. I can help people with pre-existing conditions. Unfortunately, the only plan that I can put them with, or fortunately for them, would be the Affordable Care Act. I did one Affordable Care Act for an attorney and his daughter last week, and he's happy with it. It's not reasonable in cost, but come on, it's your daughter. So this is where people are finding themselves in a lot of trouble because they do have pre-existing conditions and they do have to pay a very high cost and out-of-pocket expense. For example, an out-of-pocket expense could go as high as your total premiums plus $8,550 for most of the Affordable Care Act plans that are now being available. That are not on the exchange. This is just private market stuff. If people want to get a subsidy, then I put them in touch with the marketplace or the exchange, and they see if we qualify or they qualify for a premium tax credit. A premium tax credit is where the government steps in and helps a client pay for a portion of their eligible premium. That's all dependent upon their income. And if people make under $16,000, that's $16,000 in income, they do qualify for Medicaid. So that's how I can help people with lower incomes, and naturally with the Unaffordable Care Act, as I call it.
Wow. Well, you find the right plan and you guide people along, which is important. We talk frequently when we have you on. Again, I'm chatting with the guru of health insurance, Tom Miroballi. But Tom, we speak often about small business, and that's where I want to spend a minute or two of our time now. Yes. Small businesses often, of course, many tuning into this program, are often struggling to find the right plan for their employees, but sometimes they don't have the buying power of their larger counterparts. So a small business owner, let's say in Naperville, that might be tuning in, is going to go out for his 15 employees, his or her 15 employees, and
Sure.
A variety of individuals. In even that number 15, while 15 might seem like a small number, it is a big number to that small business owner, and it is a big decision trying to find the right plan, the right cost, and so on. What would that process look like? Walk us through that intake, the questions you'd ask, and what you're able to do to make sure that the individuals within that company or organization are able to get the coverage that they need for their families.
Well, if you're going with, let's say, a 15-person group and you want an actual group, the group has to comply with the Affordable Care Act. So that group has to have maternity coverage. So the premiums are going to be high or higher. Now, on the initial group, 15-person group application, they don't really get into a lot of underwriting questions. They do have underwriting questions, but they don't exclude people, because they don't really have the pre-existing conditions cancellation clauses. Now, group of 15 people, after the first year of coverage, now we start getting into claims that have been made during the course of that year. Okay, that first year. So when someone starts going for, let's call it counseling, let's say someone's going for cancer treatment, those bills are reflected in the second year premium. And usually those premiums go substantially higher. So my counter to that, and this is going to sound a little strange, but the counter to that is my short-term plans, or are my short-term plans, because a group has to have 75% of the eligible, in quotes, eligible employees on their group plan. For example, if an employee has a spouse with health insurance, that employee is on the spouse's health insurance. They are not eligible for the new plan. So they're not even counted in the census for eligibility. So that 75% of those 15 people, those people who have spousal health insurance are not counted in that 75%. Okay, so what I have done with a lot of groups is I have placed them on my short-term plans. Now, on the onset, they may say, oh my gosh, that's going to be so much work. Well, wait a minute, who's doing the work? I'm doing the work. So, and I can, produce a quote in seconds. So I could take people like a 50-year-old man with a $2,500 deductible. I can insure him through various products up to 6 months with one company, 6 months with another company, because that's what our illustrious governor has done to the short-term major medical plans, and get that person covered with a $2,500 100% coverage after the deductible for less than $6,000 a year. So that's what people are turning to. Under the Affordable Care Act, you're going to be spending over $17,000 for that 50-year-old person.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you definitely seek out the solutions for everybody, regardless of where they might be. And station identification over here, again, I'm chatting with Tom Miroballi, health insurance expert, who works with individuals, helps to find solutions. We've been talking about the small business angle of this as well, which is so important. And so, Tom, you return your calls almost 24 hours a day. I know you are superhuman, but you do take a little bit of rest. But when somebody reaches out to you, I know you are very, very, very responsive. And that's what people are looking for, especially in this era of 2021, a very responsive time frame. So, Tom, I want to make sure our listeners know where they can get a hold of you and your team and have conversations about their health insurance needs, find the right plan with the right pricing for their families, for their companies. How can people get a hold of you?
No, they can call me at 630-863-3477, 630-863-3477, or contact me at www.health healthinsuranceplanschicago.com. That's www.healthinsuranceplanschicago.com.
Fantastic. Great stuff. And Tom, how are you? How do you find any downtime?
Well, there is no downtime because, I really like what I do and I love what I do. It's not that I like what I do. I love what I do. There's a difference.
You've been doing it for a long time. So
over 26 years.
Benefit from your expertise. Well, Tom Miroballi, health insurance guru, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back on in the next couple of weeks for sure. So looking forward to that. As always, check out my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download podcasts from the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Follow me on Twitter, @Shalom Klein. We're going to squeeze in a quick break. We'll be right back and get down to business when we return.